You're gonna fire me because there's hot milk everywhere on the floor of the coffee shop? I mean, it's one latte. It's not that big of a deal.
Mashed my phone the other night.
And you know how much I love that phone.
Okay, all right, just breathe. Okay, maybe you don't breathe that hard.
Settle down, everyone. Settle down, please.
That right there was Runway Act 1. A video generator that's used to take real footage of a person using their own facial expressions to make almost Disney level, Pixar level video quality of different characters. But not only that, they can also do animations of real live human beings. Like in this video of this guy's talking in a bar.
You really think you can just walk away from all this?
I have to. There's no other choice.
There's always a choice. You just don't like the alternatives.
What would you have me do?
That right there was pretty crazy. Like, that was realistic. You would think this was like a scene out of a movie. But I have a question. Why is Runway Act 1 coming out now out of all times? Because is this new technology? Is this something that has been around for quite some time? I want you to check this out with Vasa.
So, you know, sometimes nothing happens and sometimes everything happens all at once and you just gotta deal with it. And it's also just strange to both be extremely worried about different things and have your anxiety levels like...
Found myself today singing out loud your name. You said I'm crazy. If I am, I'm crazy for you.
That right there was Vasa. That was made by Microsoft. That right there was so realistic. But guess what? That came out 6 months ago. But why is that? If Act 1 and Vasa are similar as to what they can do and what they can generate based off audio inputs, video inputs, then why is this technology not already out yet? Vasa has yet to even release the full thing to the public. I wonder if it's because of the election. I think this is a trend that's happening because of the politics that's happening. Imagine if you saw a news clip with any of these political people and they were saying something crazy, something insane, and it was spreading around the social media, but it looked as real as Runway Act 1 or as real as Vasa. I want you to check out this video that was tricking hundreds of thousands of people for this Mr. Beast deepfake.
Watching this video, you're one of the 10,000 lucky people who'll get an iPhone 15 Pro for just $2. I'm Mr. Beast, and I'm doing the world's largest iPhone 15 giveaway. Click the link below to claim yours now.
That right there was a Mr. Beast deepfake, and I don't even think that was such a good deepfake. You saw the quality was kind of grainy, the voice didn't really match what was really going on, but this is not really the most convincing thing out there as far as what really would get a lot of people scammed. Yes, it may scam a lot of people who are older, who may not know too much about AI or video production, but not the masses. But take this and make this like Vasa. Take this and make this Runway Act 1. How would that have changed the political landscape and how people saw things? Check this out where people were getting scammed by voice calls.
I look like a fool, I feel like a fool, but I don't care. I want to help everybody that I can possibly help.
Anthony, who doesn't want to give his last name, says that's how he feels after he was scammed out of $25,000. It all started when he got a phone call that he believed was from his son.
Dad, I had a horrible accident. I ran into a woman who was pregnant, carrying a child inside of her. She was rushed to the ICU.
He says after a short conversation, he hangs up and gets another call from someone who says his name is Michael Roberts and he's a lawyer. He then tells Anthony he needs $9,200 for his son's bail.
Hackers and scammers were literally using AI's voice calls to call loved ones in order to then get them to give them money because their loved ones were in some type of dire situation. That's kind of scary if you ask me. I think this Runway Act 1 Vasa And some of these other deepfakes are just a tipping point. And I think that's even probably why you've seen things like with OpenAI not release Sora so early, is because they didn't want to be liable for some of the misinformation, fake news you may have it. Because if they did release this and they were the source of these deepfakes, these video generations that was circulating, what is the scrutiny going to be like? We already see right now that AI is kind of new. It's been out for a few years and it's maybe been out in more years in the past in research labs, but it's now mainstream for the last year or two. But you even see with OpenAI where government is stepping into it. I think Sam Altman were talking to government officials and he was trying to get government oversight. OpenAI as a whole believes in oversight of AI. That's the whole thing about OpenAI. In the beginning, it was a non-profit. But it's scary now that it's becoming this good, this fast, where video generation was terrible last year, 2 years ago, or non-existent 3 years ago. Before to get this good, this fast is absolutely amazing. I think that the reason why a lot of these AI generations, especially in the video generation department, have been holding back so much for so long, like Sora, like Runway Act 1, and Vasa, even though we've seen demos with Vasa and other video generators, is because they did not want to be scrutinized. They didn't want to be the first people out there. But I think now that we have video generators that are out there and the election is coming to an end on November, Tuesday the 5th, the election will be coming to an end. I think we will be seeing a lot more video generators coming out December, January, and a lot over the next year or so, because the big election is going to be over with. A lot of this is not going to be able to be as scrutinized as if it was used to derail a huge political opponent. Could you imagine how much government scrutiny either side would be on when it comes to the misinformation that was occurring? Think about this. Either candidate would have gotten to office and they would have been used, this AI, Runway, Vasa, any other AI, in order to be scrutinized so heavily that they would probably be number one on their list to be like, hey, we need a government oversight for this. We've seen it even for like TikTok, where like it was becoming very popular. Now they're looking at, should we have government oversight for this? Should we not? But with this right here, this is all over. It's still scary to be used, but it's not as risky as it would be during the political times. I think in the near future, we're going to see a lot more of these released, and the ones that we have had demos for are going to be finally let out to public for us to use and play with. That being said, tell me what you think. Do you think that this is the beginning or the beginning of the end? With that said, Dex Not Dexter, out.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or, how about this, simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. That's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. It may sound basic, but how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of fucked up dystopia. Thank you, and stay woke.